Hi Caroline, thanks for joining us on Pars TV this afternoon for our halftime show. First of all, how are you getting on in these tough times? Everything safe and well?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me. Yeah, all good. Yeah, it's obviously weird times. It's been a long year. It's been difficult for everyone, but I suppose football's kind of carried on. So yeah, we started the season as normal in like August last year, and it's probably been the busiest season I've been involved in, to be honest, with the amount of fixtures and our schedule. So yeah, that's kind of like we've been really fortunate to keep playing football. So yeah, that's obviously keeping me going.
So let's go back to the start. How did you get involved in football to begin with? What's your memories of growing up in Dunfermline and what kind of football was available to you in the town?
Yeah, so my memories start when I was about 4 or 5, and I would play in the garden with my brothers and sisters in the back garden, and we had a season ticket at Dunfermline from probably from about the age of 5 as well. Me, my sister, my brother, my dad. So we went to East End Park probably for about 10, 11 years. So yeah, weekends were just taken up by football. I would play. I joined a boys' team when I was 5, called Elgin Star, and we used to go down to Petrevie. My brother would play in a younger age group. My sister would be in the older age group. So we'd spend the whole morning down at Petrevie, and then the afternoon we'd go to East End Park. And I also played in the school team as well. So yeah, my whole childhood was kind of taken up by football. If I wasn't playing it, I was watching it on TV, Champions League, whatever it was. I was obsessed. So yeah, they are kind of my earliest memories. But yeah, my family loved football, most of them, and if they didn't back then, they do now. So yeah, it was everything was kind of run by what football was going on.
Going to East End Park at that time period, it would have been early 2000s, so you would have seen a lot of successful times at Dunfermline, and of course our current manager Stevie Crawford as well. What's your memories of going to those games, and did our current manager inspire you in any way?
Yeah, I remember it so well. Like there's just it's quite nostalgic, like thinking about it, because I would always want to get there early and watch the warm up. And yeah, my sister and my brother was like, would be like, we don't need to go so early. But I was like, no, the warm up's the best bit, and see what they all do before the game. I was just so fascinated by it all. And yeah, so it was like Stevie Crawford, Craig Brewster, Barry Nicholson, Gary Dempsey. I'm trying to think, Greg Shields, like all those guys that got us to the finals as well of the Scottish Cup. That's another fond memory at Hampden. A few times actually we went to Hampden for a final. So yeah, just like sometimes I'll watch highlights on YouTube or whatever. I don't know why, but just randomly, and it really takes me back to being a kid again. And also the kit, I remember all the different kits at that time. I would have them all with like Weir on the back. So yeah, we were big. Well, we still are, but obviously it was different back then. But we were big Dunfermline fans, and all my school friends were Dunfermline fans, so they all had season tickets. We had a couple of friends in my class behind us with their dads, and other people in the Noy McCarthy stand as well. So yeah, Dunfermline Athletic played a huge role, I think, in my childhood. I had birthday parties on the 3G when it was 3G as well, and yeah, so it was. I was coached by Dunfermline coaches as well when I was at primary school. So yeah, it played a huge role growing up for sure.
When you look at your own footballing journey, and of course you've moulded yourself into this attacking midfielder striker, how did that all come about? Was that always the role that you wanted to play? Again, was guys like Stevie Crawford an inspiration to you in that kind of position, or was it just something that's kind of grew upon you as you've progressed in your career?
Yeah, I think, I was always left-footed, and there weren't many left-footed players around. So, especially when I was growing up with the boys, and even obviously going to the girls' game, there weren't many left-footed players. So I was always stuck out on the left wing, for no other reason apart from the fact that I was left-footed, because I had no pace, and I can't beat a player 1v1. That's not really my kind of game. So I knew I was always good going forward. Because I couldn't defend really. And then I liked to be involved. So I hated being stuck out on the left because I never got the ball, because it always went down the right-hand side. So I was always more comfortable in midfield, being involved in everything and going forward. Like I said, defending, I never really I don't know why anyone would choose to be a defender. So so midfield was kind of where it was at, and obviously going forward. So as I've kind of developed over the years, attacking midfield was always kind of the position for me.
You're currently at Manchester City, and I mean, even just as late as last night, you were playing and scoring and really kicking on. You're through to the quarterfinals of the Women's Champions League as well. So a really successful time for you in Manchester so far. You must be really thriving under all that pressure that you are under to win trophies.
Yeah, it's been a fairly good season up until now. Obviously, it doesn't mean anything because we've not won anything yet. Well, we won the FA Cup, like last year's FA Cup in November, which was a bit weird. But so we won an FA Cup, but we've got another FA Cup to play in. We've got the Champions League to play in next week against Barcelona, and obviously we're trying to catch Chelsea in the league, so we're 2 points off them at the moment. So yeah, being at City, the expectation is that you're gonna be competing for all the trophies. I've won a few FA Cups, a League Cup. I haven't won the league yet, so these are like top of my priorities. Also the Champions League, which, like you say, we've got the quarters next week. So yeah, I thrive in this kind of environment as much as it's pretty pressurized, especially this time of year, March, April. This is where it's really like crunch time. So it's where I want to be as a footballer. I want to be competing. I want to be playing against the best, with the best. We've got such a talented squad. So it's good, and I feel very lucky to be at such a big club as well.
You're scoring so many spectacular goals that people will know who Caroline Weir is. How important is that for you, that you are viewed as a role model for people in Dunfermline and the surrounding areas at this moment? You know what it's been like to grow up and view your idols. How does it feel to potentially be one of them?
I mean, even if I'm encouraging one girl to go out and take a football into the back garden or go onto the street and play, like that is like a hugely proud thing for me, just because growing up in Dunfermline, I loved football, as I've been telling you, but there was no women's players, there was no women's football I could watch on TV, and I genuinely think it's so important for young girls, but not just girls, but boys as well, to see that women playing football is a normal thing. And if you can, it's a bit of a cliche, but if you can see it, you can believe it, and you can see the path, that the opportunities are there for young girls if they want to go professional. Even if they don't, if they want to work in football or coach or whatever it is, there are opportunities there. And yeah, I kind of take that as quite a serious thing in a way, just to try and be a role model, like a lot of us are, within the team, a lot of big English names, etc. So if I can encourage one little girl to pick up a football and go out for a kick about, I'll be happy with that, I think.
I mean, on that similar topic, when you got to the major tournament a couple of years ago, Dunfermline showed their support for you with the banner within the town. And again, that would have really shown off the women's game and what could be achieved from people within this area. So again, it's not just at a club level, it's an international level that you're also thriving at. How do you feel the game is in general terms and Scottish football for women? Do you feel that there really has been a real generational change, and do you feel that it's really exciting times now for girls growing up in Scotland to be a part of Scottish football?
Yeah, I think it's definitely come a long way. I would like to see it push on to another level. I think it really helps when the national team is successful. So I think when we qualified for the World Cup and the Euros a few years before that, you could see there was a bit of a boom. There was like excitement. People were talking about the women's team, talking about women's football. And yeah, we were out there for the country to see. I think it's tricky because we haven't qualified for the Euros, and I think there needs to be more investment, more importance put on women's football in Scotland. I think it's even just a mindset thing. I think you see that being down in England, and you see how professional it is and how seriously people take women's football, not just in England but across Europe as well. Going to the national team, Scotland are still a little bit behind, and yeah, I think there's things that we can do to try and improve that. But having the exposure of players like me, Erin Cuthbert, Claire Emsley, Kim Little, whoever it is, playing at big clubs, that helps. So I think that is a positive, and that's important, and it's just about keeping the ball rolling, but also you know, maybe investing a little bit more in grassroots football as well, just to encourage young girls to get involved.
For yourself personally, you were the BT Women's Player of the Year in 2020. With it being such a tough year because of the coronavirus pandemic, etc., how proud were you to have received that award, and how positive does 2021 look for yourself?
Yeah, it was a huge honour. You know, it's such an honour to play for Scotland and to represent Scotland, you know, at the World Cup and obviously in the Euro qualifiers and things like that. So, yeah, to be named Player of the Year was big, and yeah, I was delighted with that. And yeah, it's just about growing the game and doing what we can to try and do that in the small way that we can kind of contribute. And yeah, 2021 right now, it started pretty well. We're at club level, we're doing well and winning a lot of games. So yeah, like I said, the next 2 months is kind of where it's at. And obviously Team GB, that's an opportunity, that's quite a unique opportunity that you know, I would love to be involved in that. It's going to be very competitive squad. There's a lot of good players to choose from. So we'll see. But yeah, it has the potential to be a great year.
As you've said, there's so much for yourself to achieve to try and get this season, and Dunfermline are pushing for promotion as well. So I'm sure you'll be hoping come the summer it's a double celebration. Thanks for talking to us this afternoon.
No worries. Thank you.